let me tell you, oil and diesel markets right now just have me so stressed out, and I'm pretty darn nervous as to what it's going to be like for the next 2 years. Let me just try and take a deep breath right here. And my goal here is not to promote fear. My goal here is to inform the viewers, you guys, what I've been noticing lately and what we may expect in the future. When it comes to the news, I can't stand to watch the news anymore. I refuse to let somebody tell me what to think. The best thing you could do for yourself is go out there, do your own research, and draw your own conclusion. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, it should be no surprise to any of you out there, the cost of everything is just through the roof. Everything. And I hate to say it, I think the prices of everything is going to be going quite a bit higher. I think we could see prices increase another 10 to 20%. Well, maybe another 10%, maybe even higher, who knows? I don't know what's going to happen. But how it's affected me personally, I find myself driving less. Like, I only drive to work, and then maybe I'll go out one day on the weekend and I'll see if I can knock out as many things as I can. I'll go to the supermarket, stop, do whatever errands I need to do out on the same trip, then I'll come back home, and I just find myself going out less because I don't want to have to bite the bullet of what it costs to fill up the truck. Maybe diesel truck was a mistake, but I still love that truck. Also, I'm not going out to eat as much, and I'm being very careful at what I buy at the supermarket. I'm very conscientious that I don't waste any food. Whatever I buy, I ensure that I consume it and I don't throw anything out, just because cost of a pack of turkey bacon now is like $5-6. You used to be able to get like 3 packs for like $4 or $5. It's the cost of a box of pancake mix, big box of Bisquick. Looked at the price of it at the supermarket the other day. It was like $9 or $10. Just crazy. So I've been very careful. Now, first I want to talk about what I've been noticing, what I've done in my own research. First I want to start with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, right? So the U.S. has these reserves underground, and back when Trump was in office, he filled those up to the maximum capacity, and those tanks really should be reserved for war or major issues, which, I don't know, is it the right time to release some of those reserves? Well, whether I believe so or not, about 1/3 of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve has been released over the past maybe year or so. I think the reserve was at like 600 million barrels before COVID, and I checked the chart recently and we're down to like 400 million barrels of oil. And of course, Russia invaded Ukraine and we're not buying oil from Russia, and they were a major producer of like diesel because they have that thick oil. So we don't have that going for us anymore. Question to think about: if Trump was in office, do you think Russia would have invaded Ukraine? Just something to think about. But regardless, our reserves are going down, and it's on a continuous downward slant. Go online and look that up. And in addition to that, something that I follow very closely is WTI crude, which West Texas Intermediate, which kind of tracks the cost of what a barrel of oil is going for on the market. Now, back about 6 months ago, we reached our peak at a little over $120 per barrel of oil. And it's been on the decline. We dropped down to a little under $80 a barrel. And then over the past month, it went back up to 90, and now it's dropped back down to 85. I'm just going to show you this chart because this is going to be kind of important. Let me focus in here. So if you look at this, this is when we peaked out right here. These are the two peaks, a little over $120 for a barrel of oil. And this is where we're at right now. See, we dropped a little bit below 80, went back up a little over 90, and now we're back settled at 85. So off the lows, we're only up maybe 10 points. So why did we see that little spike? Well, according to my understanding and research, 2 reasons. One, the stock market is forward thinking, and OPEC Plus, which is a collaboration between the big bully oil countries out there, they decided that they're going to cut oil production by 2 million barrels of oil per day. So stock market, their thought process is, well, there's going to be less supply, so obviously the price of crude is going to go up, which it did. But it settled back down at 85, and hopefully it declines. We'll see what happens there. So that's one reason, which it's messed up that OPEC has decided to cut production 2 million barrels of oil per day, but they're just trying to make as much money as they can. Greed. Capitalism. It is what it is, right? But in addition to that, I've noticed a lot of articles lately have been talking about China. And China has been lifting some of their COVID restrictions. So the forward thinking of the stock market is that China, their economy is going to open up. They're going to need more diesel because, consumer demand is going to increase. Yeah, so there's that. Now, what doesn't make sense to me, we're going to talk about oil now and what it's costing me as a consumer to buy. So for one, I think it's insane the price difference between a gallon of gasoline and a gallon of diesel. The cost difference between a gallon of gasoline and a gallon of diesel right now is over $2. Like when I filled up my truck the other day, the difference between gas and diesel was like $2.30. I don't know. I don't have any words for that. So before I talk about diesel, so today's Saturday, yesterday was Friday. The home heating oil guy came and dropped off a load of home heating oil. The cost per gallon of home heating oil, $5.59. I received 144 gallons and this cost $806. That makes me want to drink. To put that into perspective for those of you that don't use home heating oil, what it used to cost me to fill up that tank was about $600. I could get over 200 gallons of oil, home heating oil, for approximately $600. That was pre-COVID, before Russia invaded Ukraine, and that's what it used to cost. What it's costing right now to really fill up that tank, if it's low, it's going to be over $1,000. And I have a bad feeling that price is going to go up even higher. So it's never been more critical than ever to heat this house with wood. Thank God I put that unit in. But what's crazy to me about the price of home heating oil has traditionally always been lower than the cost of on-road diesel. It has a red dye in it. It's not taxed. It should be lower than the cost of diesel. Now, when I went out yesterday to fill up my truck, the price of diesel, the span was incredible. 75 cents between the cheapest station I could find and the most expensive station I could find. When I was at work yesterday, I saw multiple stations that had prices of $5.25. When I went out last night, I couldn't find a station that had diesel lower than $5.55, and that's what I paid, $5.55 a gallon. Half tank, $90. Just because, whatever. But the highest I could find diesel was $5.99, which I'm sure if you go to like a truck stop, like a Pilot or a Love's, they always jack up the prices a bit higher because it's a convenient place for the truckers to stop. And if they're company truckers, who cares? It's not my money. I'm just going to pull in here because it's comfortable. And I totally understand that, but they screw the truckers a little bit there. Well, I guess that's why they can offer the parking, because they charge more. Whatever, we're getting off topic here. But like at a truck stop right now, in my area, I could totally see diesel being over $6 a gallon. Now, why that frightens me, why this freaks me out, when oil, WTI crude, West Texas Intermediate, hit its peak at around $120 per barrel of oil. This is kind of like what the prices were for diesel at that time. Like we were seeing a gallon of diesel going for around $6. That's when oil was at $120 per barrel. And we're only at 85. We went up 10 points off the bottom, right? We were at like 75 and we're up to like $85 per barrel of oil. And yet oil prices, diesel prices, have jumped about $1, which is effing nuts. 3 weeks ago, I filled that truck up at the cheapest diesel station I could find. I paid $4.57 per gallon of diesel. But after this announcement from West Texas, after this announcement from OPEC that they're cutting production, and we see a barrel of crude go up 10 points, the cost per gallon of diesel went up literally $1. I don't know. Could somebody try and explain that to me? Because to me, is it greed? I don't understand how prices can just go up that high so quick. Like, they say it's supply and demand, but I think the demand has been pretty consistent. And I guess supply's gone down maybe a little bit, and WTI crude reflects that a little bit, but $1? Could you imagine what a gallon of diesel or home heating oil is going to cost if we do go back up to those highs of $100, $110, $120 per barrel of oil? Whew. Could we see diesel prices at $7, $8 a gallon? It really makes you wonder. I can't tell the future, but I think it's possible. It's freaking scary. Now, for those of you out there that drive a gas truck or don't heat your house with home heating oil, don't have the same cost that I, in particular, incur, let me tell you, it's still going to screw you over too. You think the cost of everything's high right now? Well, it's about to go higher. It's absolutely about to go higher. I mean, why is that? Well, the supply chain, everything kind of runs on diesel, right? With the exception of maybe some Amish farming equipment. Now's a good time to join the Amish. Excuse me. But like farmers, all their equipment's pretty much diesel powered. John Deere, the combines, tractors, moving that material to the farm, that's all diesel. And when they take those commodities from the farm silos or whatever, and they move it to a processing facility, that's moved on semi-trucks. And then from there, when they take the materials, processed material, or maybe non-processed materials, and move them to the factory, that's moved on diesel trucks or trains. And then from there, after it finishes at the processing facility, you have your finished goods, has to get shipped to the supermarket, right? So then you have another diesel truck, semi-truck or box truck that delivers it to the store. Boom, 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 diesel, diesel, diesel. And not to mention all these facilities, they have a lot of moving parts. The tractors, the buildings, and of course, you got to pay people a living wage. Now, parts on these buildings fail. You have heating systems that you have to maintain. What if a boiler goes out? How's that going to get to your house? Well, it's going to come to your house on a diesel truck. And again, same supply chain issue. I mean, getting parts for that boiler, if the boiler comes from China or wherever, that comes across the ocean on a big oil-powered tanker. So let me tell you, it's going to affect all of us. I'm kind of nervous as to what the future is going to hold over the next 2 years, especially as we see our petroleum reserves continue to decline. If they've gone down 1/3 over the course of a year, we have 2/3 left. Are we going to keep releasing oil? At what point do we run out of oil? Or at what point do we say, all right, we can't keep dumping our strategic oil reserves into the consumer economy, because we need to ensure that we save a little bit in case we have a major emergency or a war in this country. It's just something to think about. At that point, what's going to happen? Are you prepared? I tell you, it's never been a better time to start prepping. This just makes me want to buy like an auxiliary diesel tank and throw it in the back of the truck. Just have like 100, 150 gallons in the back there just for emergencies. I think it's a good time to start prepping and perhaps making your own strategic petroleum reserve. With that being said, I'm going to end this rant. Something to think about. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Did I go wrong anywhere in this conversation? Let me know how your opinion differs from mine. But I think I'm going to go outside now gonna fire up my chainsaw and we'll go cut some wood because that's the only thing that makes me relax anymore. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.